Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and locations. You will be watching this video. Yes, my dear viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're missing my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do well to like, share and subscribe. Leave your thought on the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video, and I will see you towards the end.
Well, in the meantime, the president's maiden speech, in which he approved a 25,000 naira provisional wage increment for average low-income workers, elicited several reactions on social media. The chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, after a meeting with labor leaders, said, owing to a lot of chatter on Twitter, the federal government decided to expand the wage increase for all workers.
There was a lot of chatter on Twitter about the issue of low income workers only falling into the category of the wage bill, and they supported that, and that has we did communicate with Mr. President, and he quickly did say and agree that that all categories of workers will be given the wage bill. There's nothing like low income, mid income, or high income.
All right, owing to chatter on Twitter, I must say now, our famous X is now a great tool to have. Well, thank you very much to Twitter, X now known. Well, the labor union rejected the 25,000 naira provisional wage increment in a bid to avert the planned indefinite nationwide strike set to commence on Tuesday, October 3rd. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved 35,000 naira as the provisional wage increment for all Treasury-paid federal government workers for the period of 6 months. Let's take some reactions. This is from Olu. He wrote, if the NLC agrees to this provisional wage proposition by the federal government, then it should just be scrapped already. What real impact will it have, even in the short term? And what follows after this? On what projections is the government making this offer? Well, Ken wrote, the clear and grave danger in our hands is a situation where there is no collective bargaining between the government and the Nigerian workers through the NLC. The government alone decides and then shoves it down the throat of organized labor. Democracy is gone. Well, Columbus wrote, it is too sad that the federal government continue insulting their citizens in the name of minimum wage. A bag of rice is 48 to 50,000 naira, while the federal government is shamelessly announcing 35,000 naira wage. What is National Assembly's monthly allowance? Over to you, Rufai.
I think it's time that government officials to stop shaming the government and shaming Nigerians. I mean, what's the meaning of chatter on Twitter?
On Twitter.
So it's chatter on Twitter that people use to make government policies, right? So now, if government says something and I get 100 people and 1,000 bots on Twitter and talk against that policy, government official will say, okay, based on chatter on Twitter, let's change it. Let's change government policy. We've become a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a bleeding joke. For Christ's sake, what nation have we built? Chatter on Twitter. For a labor matter that has been in dispute, the labor government set up a committee to jointly review on the 19th of June. Nothing came out of it. They are setting up another committee. Nothing came out of it. The president made an announcement. And who wrote that speech by saying low grade average workers? Very derogatory tone. They can't specify the grade level. Then a couple of hours later, then they just called the president to rescind his speech and add 10,000 naira more. And they said, based on chatter on Twitter, who did this to us as a nation? What have we become? I mean, see, if you can't tell the truth because of your tribal or religious affiliation and you see a wrecking ball happen and you keep quiet, you are worse than the problem. I'm going to quote Professor Wole Soyinka, the man in you died that day. What has happened to us as a nation? For pertinent national issues that have lingered for a while, it's chatter on Twitter that make people change their mind. You took this decision without the NLC. You made a lot of other very nebulous decisions
without the NLC.
And when we speak the truth, they say, oh, it's emotional.
No, this is real.
See, You guys don't understand how dire things have become in Nigeria. We're a joke to the world. Nobody respects the giant of Africa any longer. Look at what ordinary Niger did to us. Look at what ordinary Niger did to us. And now we are seated here, we are saying, and this is the chief of staff to the president.
All right.
Chatter on Twitter.
Dr.
Please, I want the government to go and introspect and have dialogue with Labour this time around with the mindset of fixing the problem and stop making very nebulous pronouncements like we will fast track CNG. Huh?
We're fine.
Specific dates. This is a government.
It is the truth.
This is a government. This is not a tea party. This is a government. The government.
Dr. Abati, chatter on Twitter. That's the point. I want you to. I know you have commented. So, I mean, what does this mean? Does it mean the president is listening? Why is it that they took that decision at the time that they did? Is it to avert the strike?
Okay, number one.
I wouldn't want
We've
you
been on
to-
this matter since June. Okay? And Labour, at some point, had to say, look, the federal government of Nigeria has abandoned the negotiating table. Now, why is the federal government of Nigeria waiting till the very last minute? Because these steps that they have taken out, they could have taken those steps much earlier if they were listening to the demands, about 5 of Labour. What the president hurriedly did was, in that speech, Independence Day speech, was to try to respond to Labour, some kind of midnight intervention to try to save the situation. But if you look in terms of the details, these are mostly promissory notes. I've made a point. There was even no agreement as to what the provisional 6 months wage increase will be for workers. They took a decision that it would be 25,000 naira. Then the chief of staff came later in the day that, they drew the attention of the president to it. That, look, it should not be for only average low-grade workers. Then the president gave approval that, okay, increase it to 35,000. We're running government on the basis of a word of mouth. Because that thing that Gbajabi Amila reported, it could qualify as hearsay. The president said, the president told me. It's not documented anywhere. The official document that is out there is a statement that is 25,000. Okay, maybe the Minister of Information then documented it by saying we agreed at 35,000, making it look like organized labor officials who went there, they begged for an extra 10,000 naira.
There are two things that are confusing for me, Dr. Abati. So it's 35,000 naira for tertiary government workers and then 25,000 naira for everybody.
No,
or is it the 35 for everybody? That's the
No,
that's
it
the
was
question.
the 25,000 naira that was increased to 35,000.
Okay.
You
Was
know.
it increased to
35,000,
35,000?
but for 6 months.
For 6
And the question is, where is that money going to come from? As for compressed natural
government policy.
as for CNG, which was one of the original demands of Labour, we have asked the question, where is that CNG coming from? If we are going to provide the CNG to run vehicles, okay, where is it going to come from? At a time we even have crisis of production with regard to CNG. How many vehicles are they going to provide? 100,000 vehicles for over 200 million people? Will they give? How many vehicles can they even give us in this side of the city? On this side of the city. And then number 3, you say you will give 25,000 naira per month from September to October to 15 million households. The same 15 million households that we have been arguing about, that the National Social Register, since the time of the Buhari administration, has been a source of problem. They say they give people 25,000 naira. We saw them once distributing money in public. Till today, do you know how many people collected money under this their National Social Register? Is your name or my name?
They said everybody, I must collect my 25,000. I heard for all workers. That's what he said. There's nothing like minimum. There's nothing like this.
Federal government worker.
And then this is for people who are paid from the treasury. I guess they are referring to federal government workers.
Yes.
Now, how about states? How about private sector? So even trying to address the problem, they will cause more problems. Because people in the states will say, well, federal government has announced 35,000. And the state will say, no, it's not federal government. That's when they will remember that this is supposed to be a federal system and that there is a distinction.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Please kindly drop your opinion down below. I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.